Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Trash Talk.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Brandon's here. Stuart's here. It's Tuesday
Yeah.
morning, 8 o'clock. Got the
Yeah.
coffee. So we're ready to rock and roll. And we are brought to you in part by our good friends over at Patriot Sandwich Company. And just look at the sandwiches on the logo. And Patriot, all you got to remember is patriotsandwichcompany.com. You can go online, you can see all of the amazing meats, breads, sauces, everything that they offer. If you go over there, they're located in Denton. And you go in and you just see David Jordan and his staff and tell them, hey, I heard about you guys on Trash Talk, and you order your sandwich. They're going to hand you a oversized cup, and you go over and get yourself a free drink because David cares that much about it.
Yeah, I got to get out there. It's been a while. I haven't talked to David in a couple of weeks, which is unusual.
Hey, he's busy making sandwiches.
Yeah, I know. I got to do a wellness check. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to go over there and do a food check. Over there, have myself what I like is the fact that if you want to have it on a nice on rye bread, white bread, you want to do it. I like wraps and all, and so any sandwich that you get, he can do it in a wrap. And I'm telling you, when you take the amount of cheeses and veggies and meats that he puts on, you put it in a wrap, it's like, wrap your mouth around that one, boy.
And I just want to load up on the sauce. I just want to throw the sauce on there. Give me a sauce on the sandwich. Give me a sauce on the side, and maybe one other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, another sauce just to dip in the.
Just dip it in.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Go to the website, patriotsandwichcompany.com. Look at the menu. Go over there, sit down, enjoy the memorabilia that he's got in the shop, and then take a couple of sandwiches back home with you for later.
Yeah.
And so, hey, I got question marks all behind me because I said I was asking, we talk offline sometimes and talk about just things that we've done, where we've been, what, parts of our little past. And I said, you know what? There's probably stuff that people that watch the show, and we thank you very, very much for watching the show.
Absolutely.
But there's stuff about us that people don't know. And some of it, and some of it's for damn good reasons.
That's the truth.
and others are just because they never asked.
I never came up, or who would ask? You didn't even know to ask.
I'll throw one out at you. I know
I
know you like soccer. You follow soccer and everything. Did you play soccer as a kid?
Very brief history in my younger childhood. Shockingly enough, I didn't play soccer as much as I should have. But in my very young first, second, third grade, maybe, I think after fourth, that was a negative, and definitely by fifth grade, no. So no, not as much as I should. Recreational for sure. But no, I didn't. I play way more now, and I played over the last 10 years way more.
So what was your sport when you were a kid?
So this is probably why I got in so much trouble. I didn't do any sports. I didn't do a sport. It sucks, actually. I regret that. I talked about that on my podcast not too long ago, that it was probably one of my regrets is not getting involved. I don't care about football. I mean, I'm 5'5", I don't care. But I should have done soccer. I even thought about track. Like, why didn't I do track? I run all the time because I was a lazy punk kid, But when you talk about sports, one thing I did do in sports, and people definitely don't know this, and I'm going to say it. When I was in high school, I started a little football betting. I don't know what you want to call it. I was essentially a bookie in high school, betting on high school football games.
Hey, that's sports.
Sports betting.
That's right. Sports betting. That is sports.
Yeah. And I had friends in other schools or contacts, so I would know. True story. If a player was injured or not going to be at a game, And yeah, I would have everybody place their bets, and I go collect money on Friday nights or Saturday.
And I had a really kind of a bizarre favorite sport. There's only one sport I ever excelled in.
What was that?
Archery.
Really?
Yeah, archery.
I was going to guess baseball. That's where I was going.
No, I mean, I played sandlot ball,
Yeah, for sure.
pick up ball in the neighborhood and that kind of stuff. But I was never good enough for much anything. I was the water boy on the track team. But archery, for some reason, I went to camp,
Wow.
summer camp, and I picked up a bow and arrow, and it was pretty good. And little known fact about me, I was the Indiana University intramural archery champion.
Really?
Yeah, back in 1966, I think, something like that.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, there weren't that many people that took up archery.
Hey, don't sell yourself short. Take the credit for it.
That's how you say, if you want to win a running race, find a very, very small race that there's only 3 people in your age group.
Right, and just dominate it.
That way you end up at least with a third place.
That's funny that you said that you picked up archery at camp, because I just talked about 5th grade camp not too long ago, and that was the first time that I did any sort of archery with a bow and arrow, was when we went to 5th grade camp. And I've done it since, not in a long time, but yeah, archery was great. They didn't have that in my school though. We did it one time in gym class, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, there are, it's not a huge sport and all, but there are archery ranges and all. And I mean, the equipment that's used today ain't nothing like what we used. I mean, ours was, but anyhow, archery was my sport.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's cool. That's very cool.
Did you ever win any awards at anything? I know you recently got a podcast award.
I did. Yeah, that was exciting. That I don't know how that happened, but I'll take it. I won one of my awards. I still have the trophy of. It's pretty recent, actually. Well, not really. I guess it's like 10 years ago. God, it feels recent. Maybe it's 8 years ago. Who knows? I don't even know what day it is. But the FC Dallas did a thing called Cocktails and Cleats. They used to do it. And it was a big charity event, big whatever. And we were an FC Dallas sponsor at this bar I worked at because we were right in the backyard of Toyota Stadium. At the time, it was called FC Dallas Stadium. And then it switched to Toyota. And we were a sponsor, and we were a soccer pub. So everybody come over. Well, we entered the contest, and you had to come up with 2 cocktails. And it had to feature, one was Gentleman Jack, because Gentleman Jack Daniels was a sponsor of FC Dallas. And then the other one was, I forgot what tequila, some stupid tequila. I don't know, not Patron, something else. I have no idea, because I don't really like tequila. But that's what you had to use. You can use any of the ingredients you wanted, and you told them what ingredients that you needed, and they got everything for you. You had to bring your muddlers and tools, but basically anything that you needed, they would get it for you. Oh. And yeah, it was cool. And you would make up, actually, I'll rewind this in a minute. You would make up the cocktail and serve it in little, probably like that glasses, and people would vote on the cocktail. And then there was like a fashion show, and they debuted like the new uniforms. It was a very cool event down in Dallas. I think it was at the Institute of Art down there. I don't remember. But we went down there, and we did the event together. I had a bunch of people come. I mean, there was probably 600, 700 people there maybe. And we won. We won the best cocktail, and we got the award. And it's a shaker. It's like a gold shaker. Shaker tin. It's got the plaque on it. It says your name on it, the name of your place. And yeah, we won. And I thought that was really cool, because there was some really good cocktails there. I tried a few. I saw the competition. Plus, we brought our own stuff. So not only did they give us stuff, I bought everything and said, I'm bringing it because I don't trust them. I had a wagon full of like oranges and limes, and yeah, we won it. It was very, 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 very cool.
That conjures up images of Tom Cruise in the movie Cocktail.
That's what it felt like. And it was insane because people were coming so fast and you just had to go to town and it was nuts. And I said that it was at the soccer pub. I digress. It was not at the soccer pub. I used to work at the soccer pub right there. I was let go from that place and went across the street to another bar. And we won at that other bar. That bar is no longer there. And so we put the soccer pub to shame. I remember that. It was a place right across the street from where the Londoner used to be, because that was my old pub and I got let go from there. And so it was like a vengeance win, but I still have that trophy. So that was like my pinnacle,
All right, so did you ever get busted for anything?
Really? Of course I did. How much time we got?
Wait, do you want the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or succeeding times?
Do I need my lawyer present?
Yeah, because the information that you diverge may be incriminating.
I'll do a simple one, a simple short one, because I want to hear your story. I got arrested in Canada. Busted in Canada. When you say arrested, it makes it sound like you're a serial killer. And it was nothing like that. But, in Canada, you can drink when you're 19, so you just do what you want. It's like a free for all. You cross the bridge, you just drink. And, but they were really easy going in Windsor. They knew we were a bunch of dumb American kids and they were pretty cool. But what they don't like is jaywalking.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Hey, you want to talk about making one of those Mounties mad? Don't jaywalk.
Well, that's kind of hard to do because, first of all, you go over there and you drink yourself silly and all, you can't find the crosswalks anyway.
Well, and it is a free for all. It was a free for all. It literally looked like Cancun, but colder. And we crossed the street. I left my friends because they were annoying me. So I went on my own little adventure and I was definitely intoxicated. And I didn't want to wait for the light. And I wanted to go across the street, grab this pizza, because you can buy pizza by the slice. And I just crossed the street and a cop was like, boom. And he was on a horse. So he trotted up to me and I looked at him. He's like, sir. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, getting pizza. What do you think I'm doing? Plus I was a 19-year-old drunk idiot. And he goes, well, you just crossed the street. You walked across the street. And I looked at him and I said, well, how else am I supposed to get across the street? Everything I said was not the right thing. So he threw me in he called up the wagon. They threw me in it. It smelled. They took me to the jail cell and I sat there for hours till I sobered up and I had to pay my fine and then leave. That was it.
And that was the start of an illustrious career.
Yeah. And here I am today.
There you are.
What about you? Have you been busted? I mean, for anything?
Yeah, I used to steal candy from the store.
Of course you did.
I mean, I was big on it because this is before the days of cargo pants. If I had cargo pants back then, man, I probably would still be behind bars. But
right.
Those were the days where you had a T-shirt and all, and you would just take a candy bar and you just drop it down your T-shirt and all, and then you zip up your hoodie over it and all, and you'd get out with about three. The problem was I was stupid enough to always steal chocolate, and so by the time you get out of this, you open it up and it was like mush, and also it was incriminating evidence. But,
a little bit, yeah.
I finally and these were the days where the candy store was, we knew the owner, and so the owner calls my father and he says, "Listen, it doesn't really matter that much, it's only a kind of candy bar here or there, but your son's been coming into the store a couple times a week, and he buys one candy bar, and I walk back and I see that there's like 4 or 5 more missing. So my father bailed me out. Of course, I got a whipping for it, but he paid the candy owner, and he also made me go and clean the candy store floor for like a week. I had to go over after school, and I had to push a broom around the candy store. So I learned my lesson.
Yeah. Stealing chocolate. It just sounds like, plus your nerves and your natural body temperature. It just sounds like a disaster.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You might get away with it once and be like, look, I had an accident. I'm sick. But
yeah. But when you open up your sweatshirt and everything, and your t-shirt and all is brown, you know that you've probably made the wrong move.
Yeah, definitely made the wrong. That's not a good situation in life.
Yeah. No, go after something like jujubes or something that isn't chocolate covered anymore.
Wow. What about like, so when you were younger, did you, or even now, did you ever like go in and like sneak into places you weren't supposed to go?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At movie theaters.
Really?
Or actually, back in my day, there were a lot of drive-in movies.
Sure.
And they used to charge by the head. So if you would go to the movie, and this was mostly high school, somebody had a car, and we would all want to go to the movies, double, triple date or so. So, instead of everybody paying like $2 a head, and if there were 6 people in the car, that was $12. Hey man, that was money we could spend in the concession stand.
Right.
So 4 of us would get in the trunk. and the guy and his date would pull in, and they'd say, okay, that'll be $4, and they'd pay to get into the drive-in movie and go find a place and everything, and then pop the trunk. And of course, we're talking back in the 60s, folks. Those were the days where the trunk was the size of a camper.
Yeah, you put a lot of bodies in those trunks.
You could, and plus food and drink and all kinds of stuff in the trunk.
For sure,
and still have room for the spare tire and tire iron. so and because they were driving these great big old Pontiac,
right.
But anyhow, we used to sneak into the drive-in movies, or the other movie theaters where somebody would go in and they'd pay to get in, and they'd go around to the exits, and then just kind of pop the exit door open, and you'd sneak in right when the lights were going down and the movie was getting ready to start.
Yeah.
That's when you try to sneak in.
Yeah, we don't, I didn't get to do I've been to a drive-in, but I didn't get to do the sneak-in drive-ins, because by the time I got to that point, most of them were gone anyway,
Well, but then the drive-in theaters got smart, and they just said, it's just $5 a car or something, whether it's 2 people or 5 people or whatever.
Yeah, because you're not going to pop the trunk and look at everybody, you know what I mean? And be like, oh, hold on, sir, what's going on there?
Yeah, those were the days before they had guard dogs or something that would
sniffing.
sniff out. Hey, open this trunk. I think there's a bunch of immigrants in the back of this trunk.
This smells like a prepubescent teenager. Let's pop it open,
Yeah. And by the way, one of them's got a t-shirt full of chocolate bars.
Right, yeah, he just got them from the 5 and dime down the street. One of the things too, I don't know if I've told this story so many times, I can't remember who I told it to, but if you guys heard it, whatever, listen anyway. So we obviously talked about wrestling. We did our wrestling show last year. Crazy. It was last year. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But so back in the day, before podcasting was even a thing, before we even had these cell phones, they used to have the hotlines. You remember seeing the 800 number, not the 900 number hotlines, but the 800 numbers, and there would be sports hotlines and movie hotlines and all kinds of stuff. So we actually ran and did a wrestling hotline for probably about a year and a half. Did a wrestling hotline where I would be on once or twice a week, and we had 3 different options. Option 1 was like breaking news. Option 2 was about the wrestling promotion that I was involved in. And it was called Option 3 with B. which is me, B. And
That's
I would
cool.
I would interview local wrestlers, I'd interview promoters, I'd interview people, and then we talk about wrestling news. And then eventually it just turned into this strange talk show type thing that we did. But yeah, it was really cool. So I did a wrestling hotline and got featured in the Detroit Free Press one time. That was really fun.
Very, very
There you
cool.
go. That's all I got.
Where's a place that you always wanted to visit and you haven't been there yet?
I've always wanted to go to Germany. I've always wanted to go. You know what?
Especially this time of the year,
Especially this time of the
Oktoberfest,
year, yeah.
right?
Yes, let me get the colder, the better. You know, Germany, England, Europe, and England probably. I've been to Ireland, so I wouldn't mind going back. Everybody says like, what about like tropical? And I do, I get it. Like, I understand Hawaii is beautiful and some of those other places, but for me, I want to go somewhere else. I think it would be just really awesome. Germany has stuck out to me. I'm trying to plan for my 50th to go to the Netherlands. That is on my bucket list. And I just want to go on a trip by myself. Luke will be old enough to understand it's dad's time to go away.
Yep.
And just go by myself to the Netherlands. So that's in my mind. I've been focusing on that over Germany. I just want to go there. It's just beautiful, and I just want to go there. I don't know if I'll come back, but we'll see.
Well, you said you've been to Ireland, and that's the one that's at the top of my bucket list. I'd love to go to Ireland.
It's amazing. You got to go.
I just want to see that green.
You know what? You see the pictures and you hear about it, and it's impressive, but I didn't really realize how impressive it was until I just stared out there at the green. And I went at a time where they were having a little bit exceptionally warm time of year for them, which was kind of disappointing for me. It was still like 75. So, whatever.
Yeah. Well,
but I went with, it's not bad, but I wanted a hoodie. Like I wanted rain, and I had my hoodie, because I was coming from Texas in July, and I didn't get any of that weather till I hit the coast, but man, that green. But I've had people that have gone to Germany and send me pictures. I'm like, man, this place looks great. Like it just looks fun, All
right. Going to wrap up the show with who was your first crush? Maybe not your first love, but the first girl you had a crush on, and how old were you?
There's two that come to mind, and I think I already mentioned one on the podcast, on this show, actually, I think.
Was it Tiffany or Monica?
Definitely not. I've never dated a Tiffany. I told you that. I did date a Monica. She's still awful. I assume she's awful. Somebody married her, though, I found out. God, I don't know how. He's probably awful, too. And then they made awful children. So it's like a spawn of, there's like 3 of them. I found that out when I was Facebook trolling one day. Let me see. You know what? I'll go with this girl. I already said the one. I don't want to say her again, but it's around that time frame. Her name was Alyssa. I don't know if am I allowed to say the last name? Should I? I don't know.
That's up to you.
Anyway, I'll just say Alyssa. She's not watching this.
And how old?
No.
And how old were you?
It was 5th grade.
5th grade?
I had a 2nd grade crush, but we talked about her. So I'm going to go with this one because obviously this one was more developed. I was more mature, Yep.
And I was about the same age. I think I was 12 years old, and my first love was a girl named Jill.
Really?
Yep. And we took a dance class together, learned how to waltz together. And
wow.
Yeah. And I saw her a few years ago, but I mean, it was just that childhood crush and everything. Nothing ever developed from it and everything. But to this day, if anybody said who was the first love of your life, it was Jill.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have not seen this Alyssa girl since probably 6th grade at all, and I don't even care.
Well, but Jill, if you're watching, and Alyssa, if you're watching, reach out to us. Maybe we'll get you as guests on the show, and Talk about the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days when we took a walk in the woods that one time, but
Right.
that was it. It was all over after that. But I don't want them to be on here. What if we get them on there and they both look at us like, who are these guys?
Yeah. So, no, or they write to us and they say, geez, what you two guys have become, it's just a shame.
It's a tragedy. I'm so glad we
We-
didn't make it.
We really thought you were going to amount to something, and here all you do is come on every week with trash talk. But hey,
That's it though. That's life,
we
I mean,
do,
whatever.
and we're committed to it, and we're going to keep on doing it. And we invite you to be right here again, 8 o'clock next Tuesday morning for another edition of Trash Talk. Out making a good
Absolutely.
one.